Elizabeth.
How is she?
She'll be okay. She threw most of the pills up. Christ, I thought she was dead. I thought she was getting over it. Why on earth?
Look, is there anything I can do?
No, I don't think so, thanks. Look, this is going to sound terrible, but there is something you could do, actually.
Of course.
Well, it seems heartless of me, but I have to think of it. Is there anything you can do to keep this, quiet if it gets out?
Look, leave it to me. I'll see to it. Now forget about that and worry about Louise. Do you need a telephone?
Yes.
Well, then you can use my office. I'll be back soon.
God, you must visit the Chesters.
How many presidential candidates do you know?
2. They live in Virginia.
Well, I'm going to Washington.
It's only an hour's flight.
Well, Katie, I'm only going to be there for 5 days, and most of that time will be spent making speeches about tariffs and import quotas and exchange rates.
You'll need a break, and it'll keep you out of mischief.
Yes, well, there's no fear of that. I can't stand American women.
I always thought that mistresses were supposed to get fur coats, trips to the Bahamas, the odd solitaire diamond. And all I get to share with you is that thing.
Excuse me.
What's this?
Open it and find out. They may not print the birthdays of ministers' mistresses in the Sunday Times, but I can certainly remember the day we met.
Furthermore, this Labour government has spent us to the verge of bankruptcy. Car, steel and coal industries are being propped up by massive government subsidies. And it is no coincidence, Mr. Speaker, that the Labour Party sings the red flag. Well, that is exactly the colour of this country's bank statement. Furthermore, I'd like to draw the House's attention to the fact that certain key members of the government front bench are absent from today's crucial debate. They are, at this moment, going cap in hand to the IMF, begging to borrow more billions. Not, I hasten to add, in sackcloth and ashes, but in Concorde, the most expensive and exclusive form of air transport that it is possible to waste the taxpayers' money on. Mr. Speaker, we were once accused of being a nation of shopkeepers, and we took it as an insult. But when the Labour Party was in its infancy, this country was the trading and manufacturing centre of the world. Now, this government has settled not for second place, but for the bottom of every league table they can enter. They must resign. They must resign and give the British people a chance to elect a government who still believe that it is possible for us to take our rightful place as world leaders, not world losers. And the sooner the better.
Thursday week, we'll give you a ring.
Right, thanks.
Minister, a word, please.
Oh, hello, Stuart. Hi.
Oh, I'm very well, but more to the point. You will forgive me for asking this, Minister, but can I talk to you about your wife? Is she well?
She's extremely well, thank you. What exactly is it I can do for you, Stuart?
I wondered if you could confirm a story, admittedly only a whisper, that your wife is in fact extremely ill.
Not at all. No, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but Louise has just been into hospital for some tests. Something, very simple and straightforward, but best done in hospital. She's home already. It's kind of you to ask after her.
So the rumors that the visit was almost self-induced, if I can put it like that, are also unfounded?
Uh-huh. Complete nonsense. It's obviously one of your less reputable colleagues starting a flyer. I'm sorry, Stuart, I've got to...
Yes, of course, Minister. Thank you for your trouble.
How the hell do they find out?
Daring stuff, Charles. That made them sit up and take notice.
Thank you.
But what is more to the point, Hillary noticed. A few more speeches like that, and she may well find something for you.
I do rather enjoy the financial side of things, I must admit. Hardly surprising, really.
Exactly. Why don't you take on certain aspects of the finance bill?
A few anomalies have caught my eye. Clause 110 for a start.
Oppose it.
From the front bench.
Display your talents, Charles. Don't be shy.
It's not going to make me popular in the party, is it?
I've never known anyone in this office to be popular, Minister.
I'm on record repeatedly for opposing U.S. involvement in our defense decisions. I spoke against it in the EC debate.
You were not in the Ministry of Defense then. The full facts were not available to you. The Soviet Union has escalated its nuclear strike
Yes,
force.
I can justify my own decisions.
I apologize, Minister.
Will the Treasury approve the budget for keeping Polaris? 700 million. It's nearly treble the 74 estimate.
They'll quarrel with the figures at first, but in essence, yes. At least for the next 2 years.
I can already hear the Tribune lot screaming for my resignation.
If they find out.
Quite. I used to be a member of CND, you know. I've still got the badge. Okay. Better take this across to David now and tell him I support him. He'll probably want to meet in half an hour.
I think the Secretary of State would have already left. He was due to fly to Dunoon at 7.
Is it that late already? Okay, first thing Monday morning then. Oh, hello, Heather. I'm sorry I couldn't ring earlier. How's Louise?
Fine, sir.
Has she eaten anything today?
A little.
Well, I should be home in about an hour, so the rest of the evening's your own.
Very good, sir.
Bye-bye. Mary, what else is on the agenda?
General Hadley?
Damn it, I forgot about him. Can it wait?
No, he's just outside. And then you have that meeting with the munitions people.
Yeah. Listen, will you ring my home and explain to the nurse?
The two Secretaries of State are interesting men at the end of their careers, but it is Raymond Gould we should keep our eyes on, because he has the look of a future Prime Minister of Great Britain. As Minister of State for Trade, he has greatly impressed U.S. officials with his energy and knowledge.
First time in Leeds, sir?
No, I live...
I've seen your face before somewhere. You don't go down the red line, do you?
No.
I've seen your face before.
Do you mind if we don't have that on? You should have turned left back there.
Shortcut.
No, it isn't. You've just lost your tip.
Well, if you did live round here, you'd know that's been a one-way street for the last 6 months. Hey, are you on the telly?
No, if you live in North Leeds, I'm your MP.
Well, if that's true, I'll give you a tip. Get down the local job centre one day, mate. You can't miss it. It's the one with the bloody great queue outside.
Hello, Stan.
Oh, hello.
There you are. Don't tell your mother.
Oh. Hey, Tom. Thanks very much. How was America then?
Phenomenal. Very hard work.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm still a bit jet-lagged.
Didn't think you got that on Concord.
Where's Joyce?
You don't want to work too hard, you know. You'll wind up like Tony Crossley.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it's just been on the news. Dead. Heart attack.
Oh, God.
Ah, well, there you go.
He could have been Prime Minister.
All right. Well, I cared when Bevan died, and I cared when Gateskill died. Now I just worry about my own health.
Hello, Ray. Another suit?
Tony Crossley's just died.
Yes, I know. We'd better get down to the court. We can talk about it on the way. And you can tell me all about your
Look, we don't have to go this minute, do we?
Look, look, I'll go on down there and hold the fort, okay? Right?
Look, can't you just sit down for a second?
Why? Have you got something to say?
No, I just...
What?
Well, I just seem to spend all our time talking about other people's problems.
Ray, it isn't me. And if it is, I'm not aware of it. I don't know what's going on in London. You never asked me down there. I don't know who you are anymore. And I don't think you do either. Two people can't hold on to a marriage when they live 200 miles apart and one of them prefers it that way.
No, I never said I preferred it. Hello, Raymond Gould. Yes, Prime Minister. I've only just arrived. Yes, certainly, right away. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I've got to go back. I'm sorry.
Well, at least come and show your face. Tell them why you've got to go.
Welcome home, Ray. I'd ask you to join us, but as you see, I'm entertaining the President of Malawi. Oh, because of Tony's tragic death, I've had to make a few changes, which include moving the Secretary of State for Trade. I was hoping you'd be prepared to take over his portfolio.
I should be honored, Prime Minister.
Good. You've earned your promotion, Raymond. I hear you did us proud in America, very proud. Well, you'll be appointed to the Privy Council immediately, and your first cabinet meeting will be 10 o'clock on Monday. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must get back to Dr. Banda.
What's for lunch?
Fish fingers.
Again? We get better food at school.
You're lucky to get anything.
I'll tell you one thing. You'll never catch me being an MP.
How's the overdraft?
It's coming down, don't worry. Slowly.
I suppose my salary makes no difference.
We'll be making a lot more sacrifices without it. Why?
Well, I've been told to make up my mind whether I want to be a politician's wife or a doctor.
Sounds ominous.
Well, I thought I could do both, but I'm going to have to make one or two decisions if I'm going to remain in medicine.
You can't be forced to give up being a doctor, darling. It's every bit as important as me wanting to be a minister.
Thanks. But I'm going to have to put in a lot more time at the hospital. I wasn't cut out to be a politician's wife. You should have married someone like Fiona Seymour, and you'd be Prime Minister by now.
Client privacy in merchant banks, the dreaded clause 110. You've had a chance to look at it.
Yes, I have.
The government are going to accept a Liberal amendment tabled last night.
The pact was falling apart.
Minimum change is what they're really after, but it gets them off the hook and it keeps the Liberal vote intact. In essence, nothing of substance has changed, but you will need to study the wording carefully. Can I leave it with you?
Certainly. Thank you, Clive. You've been a great help.
Well, it's very clever, but it's a cosmetic job, and it won't change the power to invest in the government one jot. We'll still get access.
Not if they accept my amendment.
Well, it's all down to you now, Charles. Are you coming back to the bank?
No, I must get to the house in time for the debate. I'll ring you tomorrow.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Eyes to the right, 146. The nose to the left, 145.
What clause were they debating?
Clause 110, Mr. Seymour.
The eyes to the right, 146.
Hello. Thought you'd still be doing battle with the government.
You got through it quicker than I expected.
Did you win?
Drink?
Please. God, this reminds me of the chateau in the Dordogne. Do you remember that holiday? Oh, I forgot. You never were a romantic. Probably worrying about how much capital gains tax you'd have to pay and whether the roof had dry rot. Is anything the matter? I'll turn this off.
Leave it.
No, I'm tired anyway. I need an early night.
It's only 9. We could go to that Spanish restaurant down the street.
Oh, another time. Not very hungry.
Don't say you're on another diet. I bet you haven't eaten all day.
Made myself an omelette for lunch. It's more than enough.
I'm told that eating alone is almost as bad as drinking alone.
Well, I didn't eat alone. I had the radio on. Night.
Morning, Raymond. Welcome to your first cabinet meeting.
Thank you.
You will sit between the Secretary of State for Wales and the Secretary of State for Transport at the far end of the table. Most people begin their careers at that end.
Wonderful. I'll never order anything else. Country vegetable soup followed by beef off the trolley.
Sounds like a safe bet.
Unlike our last little venture. How much are you still in hock because of the collapse of Nethercoat and Co?
14,300 when I last looked. It's paying the interest before you can cut down on the capital that really hurts.
Yeah. How do you think I felt when we were overdrawn 7 mil and the bank decided to pull out without any warning?
And judging by the Rolex on your wrist, Ronnie, I'd say those problems are a thing of the past.
Yeah, you're right. You know, the only person who ended up losing money on that deal was you. If you'd stayed on, the company would owe you £11,100 of earned income.
That's supposed to cheer me up.
Listen, Morgan Grenfell want me to restructure the new company, and they'll be injecting a large amount of cash. Now, at the moment, Whitechapel Properties, I hope you approve of the name, we're still a £100 off-the-shelf company. I own 60%, the bank's got 40. Now, before the new agreement is signed, I'm going to offer you...
Would you like it well done as usual, Mr. Nelson?
Oh, yeah, cheers. Lovely, Sam. Thank you. Now, I'm going to offer you...
And your guess?
Medium, please.
I'm going to offer you 1% of the new company. In other words, 1 share. Give him an extra slice, Sam. Looks like an Egypt. Well, aren't you going to ask?
Ask what?
Oh, you politicians get dumber by the minute. If I'm going to offer you a £1 share, how much do you think I'm going to demand in return?
Well, I can't believe it's going to be £1.
Wrong. 1% of the new company is yours for £1.
Would that be sufficient?
Hang on a minute, Sam. I'll repeat. I'm offering you 1% of the new company for £1. Now ask your question, Sam.
Would that be sufficient?
It's most generous.
Did you hear that, Sam?
I certainly did, sir.
But this must be worth hundreds, thousands. I'm speechless.
First politician I've known who's ever suffered from that problem.
Thank you, Ronnie. It's an incredibly generous gesture.
No, it's not. You've done a lot for me. You opened up a lot of very useful doors. You were loyal to the old company. Why shouldn't you prosper with a new one?
How much is this worth?
Why worry? Oh, you could sell it. On the other hand, you could stick it under your mattress and forget about it. Play your luck.
I'll sleep on it. Oh. Before you change your mind.
There you go, Sam.
The film they saw was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Jack Nicholson is a nutter. They sat together on the 12th row, but they could have been strangers. They left when the Indian threw the sink out of the window, so unfortunately I missed the ending. As you can see, the subject visited Dalgleish regularly at his hotel room on Tuesday and Thursday afternoons.
Prime Minister's question time. She'd know I'd always be in the house then.
Stays for 2 hours, leaves alone.
Why does she always walk home instead of taking a taxi?
Gets rid of any smells.
What about him? Where does he go? What does he do?
He goes to the Lansdowne Club, swims 10 lengths, or plays a game of squash before returning home. Swimming and squash, they both solve the problem.
Home so early, darling. Socialist taking the day off?
This.
What is it?
Read it.
It's just not true. Any of it.
You know perfectly well that every detail is accurate.
I don't care about him, Charles. You must believe that.
You're no longer someone I can live with, Fiona.
Live with? I've been living on my own since the day you entered Parliament.
Perhaps I might have come home more often if you'd showed some interest in starting a family.
You blame me for that?
In a few moments, I'm going to my club, where I shall spend the night. I expect you to be out of this house within 2 days.
Where will I go?
Well, you could always try your lover first, although I dare say his wife might object. Failing that, I'm sure you could always find a bed at your father's house.
And what if I refuse to go?
Then I shall throw you out as one would a whore and cite Alexander Dalgleish in a very messy divorce.
Charles, please give me another chance.
I seem to remember giving you another chance once before. The facts are in that file. I shall not see you again. We'll separate for at least 2 years and then carry through as quiet a divorce as possible. If you cause me one moment of embarrassment, I'll drag you both through the mire.
You'll regret this, Charles.
Polaris puppet, indeed. You don't know the half of
Well,
it.
that's because you're so secretive in defense. Still, you got what you wanted. Polaris stays.
Well, it hasn't exactly made me any friends on the back benches.
Well, with the unions. You certainly won't be the golden boy of next year's conference.
Make a change for them to notice me at all.
It's the Holbein that means the most to me, and the bitch knows it.
My immediate advice is to call the police.
If I'd wanted the police, I would have rung them. The woman's trying to make a fool of me. I don't want it made in public.
Well, bearing in mind how sensitive you are to publicity, Mr. Seymour, there are 2 avenues of approach. You can grin and bear it, or the alternative is one I've used often in the past. Where is your wife living now?
At the Boltons with her parents.
I shall need your help, sir.
Well, Woodford Brett's dropped his bombshell. You'll be pleased.
And they loved it. Cheers.
Cheers.
God, the idea of that lot choosing our leader and writing a party manifesto at conference, it's beyond belief.
Well, it is more democratic. You sound like a Tory.
Raymond, we're the government, elected MPs, not the party. The decision makers are in Westminster, or they should be, not here.
Well, I agree with Brett. Though it could make life uncomfortable, especially his proposals that MPs are reselected before each election, and that's bound to become party policy.
Well, I don't call that democracy or accountability. You not either. If the management committee is taken over by half a dozen trots, they can reverse the decision that 50,000 voters have previously agreed on.
And it prevents people taking their seat for granted. None of us has a God-given right.
Well, that's easy for you to say with a rock-solid seat, Raymond. If we lose the next election, I foresee a split in this party that will be so great we may never recover.
And they've been saying that since the party was founded. We thrive on splits and factions. It's healthier.
I hope you're right. But I think times have changed.
Is Lady Fiona at home? No, thank you. I'll call this evening. Goodbye. Your information was correct. They're out for the day.
Convincing, sir?
Very.
Should do the trick. It has before.
I don't want to know.
No, sir. Morning. Portland Removals. I'm here to collect a few items for Lady Fiona Seymour.
No,
That's,
understand.
Lady Fiona's signature, you understand? Yes, sorry we're a bit late. Traffic.
Lady not home.
Ah, no, senorita. No. Lady Seymour said that you would be there.
You sure you've looked everywhere?
That's it, sir.
It's not there. Everything but the Holbein.
A valuable painting, Mr. Seymour?
It's a family heirloom worth about £2 million.
Nice try, sir.
Must be rather like the beginning of talking pictures. The public will judge us by our voices, not by our beautiful faces.
You'll be a natural, Alec. You always wanted to be an actor.
In Hollywood, dear boy, not on Radio 4.
Sir, could you possibly stand over here and say a few words?
This is the government bench.
If you could, sir. Just speak in your normal voice.
Oh, all right. What do you want him to say?
Doesn't matter.
Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow.
Resign.
Yeah, that's fine. Could you
Right.
try it from back there, please?
All right, yeah.
Please.
What about a little Shakespeare this time? It's rather more in keeping.
Okay. Now is the winter of our discontent.
Very apt.
Thank you. Made glorious summer by the striking refuse collectors returning to work.
Not so loud. Normal voice.
Everybody shouts in here.
Simon, pretend you're an ex-prime minister. Speak quietly, but with great wit and wisdom.
Oh, Simon, can I have a word?
Yes, of course. Alec, take over for me, would you?
As England never did nor never shall lie at the proud foot of a conqueror.
They've done what?
Aye. 2 communists have put their names forward for election to the General Purposes Committee.
Over my dead body.
I thought that'd be your attitude.
When's the meeting?
Next Thursday.
Have we got reliable people to stand against them?
Of course we are. We've got Councillor Ray Gillingworth and Jenny Simpkins from the court.
Oh, well, they're both sensible enough, but between them, they couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding.
Well, do you want me to ring Ray at the house and ask him to come up for the meeting?
No. He's got far too much to worry about.
Just because Louise can't have any more children herself, it isn't the end of the world.
She's got to have a child. She needs someone to look after it. It should be me, I suppose, but... well, I'm too busy.
Andrew, stop feeling so guilty. You chose politics, and Louise chose you. You both had your eyes wide open. Have you considered adoption?
Yes. I discussed it with my father, and we both felt that Louise wouldn't agree to it.
Well, have you discussed it with Louise? You can't make every decision by yourself. Louise isn't a defense procurement.
No, I haven't.
Then you've got nothing to lose. Louise loves children. She might be much more resilient than you think. I'm sure it won't be hard to find a suitable child.
Did he come from a Scottish orphanage? Do you think that would be possible?
Joyce! Joyce!
Stan? What happened?
Reg and Jenny walked it. Those 2 communist buggers only managed 3 votes between them.
Well done.
I didn't do anything. I just counted the votes. You did all the legwork. Do you want me to tell Ray what's been happening?
No, I'll tell him. I'm going to London myself tomorrow. Jean Lister phoned me. She wants me to stand in for her at an hour-ago luncheon.
Hey, good. You could do with a bit of a change. You haven't been out of Leeds for months. How long are you staying?
I don't know. Depends on Ray. I can't get hold of him.
I shall be late again this evening. That's Harry. I'll ring you later.
What's on the cabinet agenda today?
Strategy for a general election.
Since when?
Since we lost the by-election and the Liberals started wobbling.
When will it be?
Well, I don't know. And if I did, do you think I'd tell some Yankee Mata Hari with a hotline to the U.S. Treasury? Fleet Street would like that.
You talk in your sleep. State secrets. I have tapes.
I dream in code. Look, I'll see you here later. Give it a couple of minutes, all right?
Oh. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bring me coat,
Hello? Who is it?
Hello, it's Mr. Gould's secretary. I've come to pick up some papers for him.
Okay, come on in.
I'm sorry to disturb you. Mr. Gould said it was important.
That's quite all right.
He said it to be in a green file.
Did he say what it was about?
Something to do with last year's trade figures.
Well, Ray keeps most of his things on his desk.
It doesn't seem to be here.
Perhaps you should call him.
Call him?
Telephone him at his office.
Oh, well, he's in a meeting. I'd hate to disturb him. He'll just have to do without. I'm sorry if I disturbed you.
You're Ray's wife, aren't you? Joyce.
Yes, I am.
Well, what we all feared is now official. The Liberals are not willing to continue their pact with us after the end of the current session. I had a long meeting with Ian yesterday, but to no avail. Well, because of his decision, we must accept the inevitable, make our preparations. Now, I'm convinced that we can hold on till Christmas, but not for much longer.
I am sorry, Mr. Fraser. I don't think we're going to be able to help you. Your wife just isn't interested in any of our children.
We've visited 4 homes and it's been the same. She's looking for someone like her son. It's impossible.
Careful, Jean. Perhaps the answer is the opposite.
Sorry, I'm not with you.
Mrs. Fraser. If you have a few moments. Come with me. There is a little girl who has just arrived with us. She's travelled a long ways, very badly undernourished, which is why we've kept her in isolation until she regains her strength. Her parents were killed in Saigon. I'm afraid we don't even know her real name. So we've called her Claire, after the saint.
Claire?
Of course I'm coming down this weekend. What? Damn it! it, man. It's me they're voting for, not my wife.
Good morning, Charles.
I thought it was understood we'd never see each other again.
Would you rather I came to the House of Commons and shouted from the visitors' gallery?
Do what the hell you like.
And obviously you don't want the Holbein back.
5 minutes.
This place is filthy. What happened to Carmelita?
Come to the point.
I only borrowed the portrait, Charles. Don't worry, it's perfectly safe.
Where?
Wall looks very naked without it, doesn't it?
Stop wasting my time.
I want to marry Alexander. Agree to a divorce and you get back the Holbein.
Divorce is now out of the question.
You said 2 years.
If you played it straight, which you haven't.
Are you still worried about your career? You shouldn't be. After all, divorce hasn't harmed dear Mrs. Turner.
No divorce, Fiona. You lost that chance when you ransacked this place. So you're wasting your time and your 5 minutes are up. I can live without it, as easily as I've lived without you. Goodbye.
I've accepted their offer. I had to. It gives me the chance to stop letting my life drift. Can't you see it was because of you?
And because of me, you're leaving London and going to live in New York?
To work in New York and start getting my life in perspective. Raymond, don't you realize it's been 5 years?
Yes. I know exactly how long it is and how many times I've asked you to marry me.
Ray, in 2 weeks there's an election. Win or lose, the most important part of your life is yet to come. You'll need Joyce then, not me.
Why do you keep saying that? You've never met her.
Whereas I could even end up being the single reason you fail in your career.
We can get over that problem in time.
That sounds fine now. Till Labour win the next election? And lesser men than you are offered the chance to shape future policy?
Is there anything I can do to make you change your mind?
Nothing, my darling. I've handed in my resignation. And I begin my new job with Chemical Bank in a month.
4 weeks.
I couldn't tell you till I'd made it official, because I knew you'd try to talk me out of it.
Do you know how much I love you?
I hope enough to let me go before it's too late.
So, later this morning, Hilary Turner will enter number 10 Downing Street as the first woman Prime Minister in Britain's history. With a majority of 43, there is no doubt that she will lead the Conservative Party and the country, at least until the mid-80s. And some...
Why don't you ever answer the bloody phone, Peter?
I'm reading.
5 years at Stowe, and that's the result. How to be a sex pistol. Simon Kerslake. Yes, Hilary.
So, how fantastic of you to come.
Thank you, Stephen. Robert dragged me out to help him celebrate. My congratulations to you both. I'm green with everything.
Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. Your time will come, won't it, Robert?
Exactly what I've been saying. We're in for a long spell. Before it's out, you'll be joining us in the cabinet, Charles, mark my words. Anyway, we need you. Too many of these red brick types sneaking in.
May you both be prophets.
Hello.
Have you two not met?
No.
Charles, Amanda Wallace. Amanda, my close friend and colleague, Charles Seymour. How do you do?
How do you do?
won't say no.
It frightens me. If only she'd offered you something else.
I could hardly barter. We'll have police protection.
Well, I'll be terrified to open a letter in case there's a bomb in it.
Security will take care of that.
What, you mean sniffer dogs in the hall? I suppose you'll have to go over there. It's a stupid question, of course you will.
I said, I can still say no.
That would be the act of a coward, and you've never been that.
I'm not sure about that. Hillary will be waiting for an answer. She has offered me the chance to be a minister of state.
Then tell her yes.
You realize the children will be in danger too. The IRA are not particular.
I know, but you'll be able to do something about that.
History is against me.
Dial the number, Simon.
Are you absolutely sure?
Yes.
Yes, the Prime Minister, please. Simon Kerslake. Hillary, I accept.